Good afternoon. It is October 6, 2023. It's approximately 96 degrees, clear skies here in southwest Riverside County under a slight Santa Ana wind condition. Not uncommon for this time of year to get this warm. This is the third inspection of the storm capture. They've been doing very, very well. One goal of this inspection will be to add small hive beetle traps, as a couple of days ago when I was adding 1-to-1 sugar syrup to this internal feeder, I saw one small hive beetle in there. So I got some traps and we're going to place them. And in doing so, we'll also perform about our 10-day inspection. This hive has been taking approximately a quart of 1-to-1 every day, taking it very well. I have, I think, 4 drownings today in the feeder, which I'll fish out here in a moment. Otherwise, only 1 or 2 others, so half a dozen drownings over the past 30 days is pretty good, quite good. These bees have been behaving very, very well. I'm going to crack the inner cover here and give them a couple of puffs of smoke and let them settle. I had forgotten to activate my wireless microphone, so I'm doing a voiceover narration. And it's unfortunate, as you could have heard the bees really roaring in there when I lifted that cover up. They're beating their wings rather heavily. Pretty cool sound. We'll see the inner super here momentarily, or the top super, honey super it is, medium frames. I don't anticipate much activity on them. It's really the wrong time of year to be adding supers, but I put them on there as I didn't want them to get bound in the brood box, so I gave them more space. As our weather is so good here in SoCal, I don't anticipate them needing to be confined to stay warm. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but we'll play it by ear. Here you can see some activity in the super, not a lot. I will pull a couple of quick frames just to see if they've done anything to them, building out comb, as they are new waxed frames. I'm not anticipating any, so we'll see here momentarily. The bees are getting through the super to get up to the feeder, so they know the supers are there, but I don't see any comb being drawn. I'm not particularly surprised at that. I was hopeful I might see a little indication of it, but there was none. So I won't bother anymore with the medium frames in the super. We'll remove the super and have a look at the brood box. And there they are. I like what I see. There's more bees this inspection than last, and we have approximately 5 of the 8 frames that are heavily drawn, and lots of bees on those 5 frames, 6 frames really. I'll give them a light smoke to get them down, and then we'll start pulling frames and see what we see. I'm going to smoke myself there a little bit just to make sure that if they do get riled up, they won't come after me, hopefully. But so far they've been quite calm. This has been a very, very calm group of bees. And they are a feral capture in Southern California, so they maybe got lucky and got one of the non-Africanized 10% ferals that are out here, or another beekeeper's bees swarmed on him here late in the fall, and I got his queen. Don't know. So there's the outermost frame. Foundation is not being drawn, but one tiny speck on there. Nothing happening there, so we'll move on. Frame 2 was very heavy. A lot of honey on that side of frame 2. A lot of capped honey, some nectar towards the bottom there. Don't see any brood in that frame. Again, those foundations weren't waxed, so they're not taking to them very well. I'll have to do something about that later on. We'll see how that goes. I'll take a couple of small pieces of wonky comb off here and smash them down into the frames that they've not occupied, or a portion of the frame they've not occupied yet, to hopefully draw their attention down there and get them to start drawing out on the foundation rather than building the wonky comb that they are. Just a couple small odd pieces there. The other side is drawn out in one corner only. About maybe less than a fourth of the frame is drawn out, but they're starting to draw it out. And now with the numbers increasing, I think they will draw it out some more, but they're putting their stores on the outer frame, which is to be expected. So that was frame 2. Frame 3 is even heavier. I nearly dropped it. And this side of the frame has a lot of wonky comb on it that was capped over before and now they've hatched out and is being backfilled again. I see brood. I see more capped brood, nectar, and honey. Though it's wonky comb, it's producing bees, so I'm going to leave it alone. Don't want to lose this swarm. A couple of small random pieces of wonky stuff I'm squishing down onto the foundation to try to attract them to that unused portion of the frame. Now the other side is heavily occupied. The top third is all honey. The bottom third, or middle third, is all capped brood, and the bottom of the frame is being drawn, so they're taking to it very well. Don't see the queen. Still looking for her. I've never seen her, but we know she's there and laying heavily, building up the numbers really, really well. That was frame 3. Now we're getting into frame 4, where I would think hopefully we'll be able to see the queen. I'd like to capture her and mark her so that she's easily visible, and a very, very good frame there, I believe. Good laying pattern, solid capped brood, larva, eggs, honey at the top. Good looking frame. This other side is a repeat. Super frame. Solid capped brood. 3/4 of that frame is capped brood. A little bit honey in the corners. Really, really good. The numbers are going to be keep climbing in this colony. No sign of any small hive beetles. Remember, that was a goal of mine, to put the traps in there and to see if I saw any, and I have not to this point. I sure like the looks of that frame. Trying to drop the frames in softly so that I don't get them riled up and get them knocked off the frame. Trying to be slow and easy and gentle. And they're cooperating. This is another heavy frame. Look at that. 1/3 of that frame is honey. The middle of the frame is larvae and capped brood, and they're starting to draw out more of the frame there on the end. That's going to be another perfect frame. Out of camera here, I'm in the sunshine trying to see if I can spot the queen, as this is frame 5. I should be in the vicinity of the queen if we're going to see her. And I did see her right over there in that corner. She was a large, fat queen, but she skittered away on me. Didn't have a chance to even begin to consider trapping her. Skittered around to the other side. I'll look again there. No luck. Don't see her in that corner. I suspect what she did was that she went beneath the wonky comb on the other side of the frame here and hid from me. So that's okay. I know she's there. She's laying heavily, and I'm happy to have her. More big chunks of wonky comb there from the get-go, and I've just left them to do their thing, to build their numbers up. They've already had one succession of eggs hatch, and they're backfilling again, and I see eggs, larvae, and capped brood in those wonky chunks there. They haven't taken to the foundation, but again, that's okay. They're using it as is, and their numbers are increasing. Taking one last look for the queen, but she's hiding on me. She's pretty skittish. Oh, good. I'll drop that frame back in carefully and pray that I didn't roll her and let her get back to doing what she's doing. So that's frame 5 of the box. This next frame is the frame that I experimented with a starter strip of foundation only at the top of the frame. They took to it very well and have nearly built it out completely. And again, perfect laying pattern. A lot of capped brood, honey at the top. And now when I turn it over to inspect the other side, you'll see it start to sway and I almost lose it. I hope I watch it right there. Oh, stop, stop. Danger, danger. Let's put that thing away because it is so well. And let's squeeze it back together with the adjoining frames and help to support it and call it a day. As far as pulling frames, I don't want to break that comb off. They've worked too hard on that. Fingers crossed that it stays put. So we'll get them back all aligned here, making sure that they're tight so that the gap is, E-space is correct. Put the first frame back in and then get on to installing the small hive beetle traps. Frederick Dunn had an issue, a YouTube interview of a scientist who was performing different experiments in a controlled environment on bees, and one of them was using small hive traps and utilizing different mediums in the trap, and lo and behold, in his scientific study in a controlled environment, the best lure for small hive beetles was Miller High Life beer. So I don't have any Miller High Life beer, and when I went to the store this afternoon, that was my intent, was to maybe get a 6-pack of it, or hopefully 1 bottle, because I don't drink it. And but the only thing available was the 12-pack, so I didn't want to do that. I do have some Miller Genuine Draft, though, Miller Brewing Company, so I'm going to use MGD and see if that will attract any small hive beetles. My investigation tells me to place the traps in opposite corners between the outermost frames, and so that's what I'm doing here. I'll fill the trap with MGD and put it in place. Just as a side note, at the conclusion of this inspection, I had to finish off that bottle. Didn't want it to go to waste, and it was quite good. It's hot out there today. Hope the beetles like it too. So we'll make sure everything is scrunched together and in proper spacing and call it a day. Traps installed. Bees have been very calm, very, very calm. And the slight breeze has been pushing that smoke right over where I'm working, good, bad, or indifferent. That's what it's doing. So I'll slip the honey medium super back on. I'm not that concerned about it as mentioned. The weather in Southern California is very, very warm. We're not going to freeze until December or February, January maybe. I have concern about getting bound up down below down there and the queen not having anywhere to lay, so hopefully they will start moving some honey up into the super to free up those cells down below for her to lay in, because they're pretty full. Not a lot of space available for her to lay at the moment. She's relaying in some of the cells previously created. So anyways, that's my theory. I'll leave the super on. Replacing the inner cover with a rapid round feeder. I'll scoop out the poor girls that drowned. There were 4 of them, unfortunately. It happens. I think it'd be super hard for the workers to pull that dead bee out of there, so I'll take it out of there for them so they don't have to do that hard work. I have rescued a couple that were struggling and drowning a little. Put them out with a stick and put them out on the entrance board and let them get cleaned up, and hopefully they survive. Pulling the sock up to the top of the internal portion of the feeder so that they don't have to go down the side. They can just suck it right out of the cotton of the sock. It's drawing the 1-to-1 sugar syrup up like a wick. I'll top it off here. They've been taking about a quart a day. I think that's all honey syrup that they've capped off down below, but that's okay. They can eat it. It's not for us to harvest. It's for them to get them through the winter. I do have Hive Alive fondant that I'll give them later on when I'm told they'll stop taking sugar water, so I'll give it to them until they stop, and then I'll put the fondant on probably in December, maybe January. Using a medium box as a feeder shim. I don't have a feeder shim. I could make one or buy one, but for now I'm using the medium box. I'll put the telescoping cover on and we'll call it good for this inspection. Thanks for watching and coming along with me in my adventures in beekeeping as a brand new beekeeper. Thank you again. Subscribe if you like, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.